Pizza and Zombies, an original play by Brandon M. Prosek. This production was directed by Tess Holbrook and produced by Aaron Brokenbough and the Off Center for the Dramatic Arts in Burlington, Vermont. Gavin looks extremely greasy and unshaved.
Zombie log day 80. Still no sign of military or medical relief. We have remained at a stalemate in regards to releasing Bobby into the wild. Sure, zombies are running rampant, but is this that different from the world we were living in before? It is a world where I witnessed people organize underground swordfish jousting. The odd thing was people enjoyed it not so much for the sport of two fish swimming at one another in a dueling fashion, but for entertainment purposes. Thoughts on that spectacle require more time. In other news, Sadie's baby is due any day now.
I'm getting really worried about Sadie. Childbirths are supposed to be done in a hospital with doctors and nurses, not on the floor of a pizza place with a nursing student. Aren't you worried?
I am. But if we all show that worry around her, it'll cause Sadie to worry more than she already is. And that can cause more stress that isn't good for the baby.
Boom!
Hello? Is anybody here?
No one say anything. That person can be dangerous. Everyone, arm yourselves and stay alert.
They all take out various weapons they've crafted over time, with trays and pizza cutters and other kitchen utensils. Then they hide.
Hello? This is Officer Davis. Is anyone hurt here?
Lexa jumps out with her hands up. The officer lowers his gun down.
Are you here searching for survivors? We're here!
Ma'am, how many people are here?
For strategic purposes, we would not care to reveal quite how many of us are populating this establishment. Can you identify yourself so we know it is safe?
How did you get in?
Your back door was open. It was locked, but the door wasn't completely shut, so I was just able to push it open.
Well, isn't that just the Holy Grail on top? The door has been open for 2 months.
Noelle, Jared, and Gavin all poke their heads up from behind the tables like gophers peeking out of the ground.
Are you alone? Don't you have backup?
Let's all take a beat here. I've been ordered to try to find survivors and report back to my superiors. How many are here?
Peyton jumps out.
Wait a minute. They sent you out by yourself. In the middle of all this chaos, not even a single person to back you up, and just that one gun.
We're doing the best we can. We had to, spread out. Lots of, area to cover.
And where is everyone going?
Well, we're all heading back to the, school in town. Set up, safe spot. Can I use your, facilities? I've been walking a while, and it looks like this block still had running water.
I don't think we should leave with this guy.
You've been saying from the beginning we should wait for the military and help. Well, looks like help finally arrived.
Just please trust me on this. We're safer here. We have food. We have shelter. We've been on our own for over 2 months. There's no guessing what it's like outside those doors. You want to risk she goes into labor right when we get overrun by zombies?
I would appreciate it if you move this group huddle over near this hiding spot, because I'm having trouble getting up and don't like being talked about as if I'm not here.
They move the huddle over near her. Noelle and Jared help Sadie to her feet.
I want to know why Peyton doesn't trust this guy.
Did you not see how hesitant he was with his answers? He couldn't have been more vague about everything he said. He was searching for the answers.
That's what you're basing this on? Listen, Shirley Holmes, I'm not staying here because you watch too much Law and Order and think you have detective skills.
His firearm was not standard issue for the local authorities in this proximity. That does befuddle me a bit.
Standard issue? Gavin, maybe it's a war zone and he just found a gun that he...
What if I'm right, though? I don't think we should risk going.
Shouldn't go.
We're staying here. She's pregnant, and it could be too dangerous out there.
I think you'll be more safe if you come with me. Did you guys know you had a creepy guy in your freezer back there?
You can take him to see if you can get medical attention. If you come back with more officers to keep Sadie safe, we'll go with you. For now, we're staying.
My instructions were to bring survivors.
From who?
From the president. Yeah. Orders came down to all the police. Spoke with him myself.
Listen here, Huckleberry Finn. We know the president is dead, and we're not going anywhere with you. Get talking with some truth, or get the hell out of my pizzeria!
Wow. First ones to figure me out.
He pulls out his gun.
Too bad. All of you on the ground!
Stealing a police uniform to appear trustworthy. That's fairly clever. You'll take everyone by surprise, so they underestimate you.
Trust me, I know I'm clever, boy. Now get on the ground. Put those little parking brakes on.
Sadie grabs her stomach in pain.
Oh no, not now. Oh, my contractions are starting.
I said all of you down.
The officer points the gun at Noelle and Peyton. Gavin rolls over behind the officer.
Do none of you see that I have a gun? Get down!
The group gets down except for Noelle, checking on Sadie. Sadie is screaming, and the officer doesn't notice Gavin behind him.
Deception can be one's greatest advantage over an opponent.
Gavin stands up on his own 2 feet, weapon in hand. Everyone looks out in shock.
Gavin, you can walk?
Never said I couldn't.
Boom! The back door crashes open as Bobby comes stumbling out.
Everyone stop moving. That includes you, freezer guy.
Gavin swings to knock the weapon out of the officer's hand, but the officer dodges. They wrestle for the gun. Peyton jumps to help.
We're right here. Just keep breathing. Noelle and Jared, go get Bobby. I got this.
Jared and her run over to fight off Bobby. Peyton and Gavin are still wrestling with the officer for his gun. Noelle and Jared are whacking away at Bobby.
What's happening? Can you see anything?
Lexa moves herself between Sadie's legs and lifts up her dress to look under.
Oh my God, you are dilated like crazy. The baby is coming. How long ago did your contractions start?
I thought I was just constipated. It can't come now with a zombie in the room. Help me push it back up.
You can't push a baby back up.
Not with that attitude. Stay in my belly, baby J.
The officer breaks free of Peyton and Gavin. The officer shoots twice. Gavin looks down to see where he got hit twice. Once in each leg.
I see the irony, and it's humorous. Ugh.
Gavin falls to the ground holding his legs. Peyton bends down to apply pressure. Noelle and Jared are still wrestling with Bobby as they move towards the officer. They dodge as Bobby bites the officer. The officer shoots zombie Bobby.
The baby is crowning.
I don't want it to crown. There are gunshots happening. Make it stop.
Jared flips one of the tables on its side so the top surface can be held like a big shield. They charge at the officer and Bobby to shove them back. Peyton gives Gavin some rags and runs over to help.
Push, Sadie, push. Your baby is coming.
Push! Get them out of here!
I'm pushing.
Push.
As they are getting Bobby and the officer to the door, the officer starts growling and bites Jared.
Come on!
The baby
Come
is
on.
coming.
Yes!
It's a
Good job!
It's a boy.
Zombie log day 202. It's been 4 months since we've come into verbal or physical contact with anyone from the outside world. Food supplies are lasting a prolonged amount of time due to some of our restaurant population casualties. Jared is proving to be less of a challenge than anticipated. All of my female pizzeria compadres have declined my offer to impregnate them to save humankind from becoming an extinct species. I shall leave the offer on the table for humanity.
Gavin, please tell me you're not talking about repopulating again.
I do not care for that tone. I'm trying to save our species.
Can you check on Jared for me? I believe it's your turn.
Is it always my turn when we're sleeping?
I can't hear you. I'm asleep.
Hush, hush, little Jared. It's time to go back to bed. Your mommies are trying to sleep.
Did Gavin wake up the baby again?
Why is the assumption that I woke little Jared from his slumber?
Because you're nearly nocturnal.
Someone has to keep watch in case of intruders.
In the entire 6 months we've been hauled up here, we've only had one intruder, and that was because the back door wasn't shut all the way. We're safe.
Boom!
Help! Help! Someone let us in.
That's just poor timing.
No one let them enter. They can be witches.
We're not witches.
We're in a zombie apocalypse, and you're worried about witches? That aside, we should not let them enter, because they could be violent.
We promise we aren't violent.
Oh, come on. Stop listening. We're trying to have a conversation here.
We're trying not to die out here. Can you speed up the conversation?
I think we should see how many are out there, and if it's a low number, we let them in.
Because last time we let someone in, it went so well.
So we're going to let more people die?
Hey! Don't you dare blame Jared's death on me! Don't you dare!
No one is blaming you.
I could hear the little attitude in your voice, Missy. We made a group agreement to stop bringing up that day.
Everyone, calm down. Lexa may be onto something. These two could fill us in on what is happening outside. Maybe they know of a safe place.
I'm in agreement with Peyton. The two strangers can provide tactical information.
Please assist us, or we could perish.
Bring it to a vote. All those in favor of ignoring them?
Only Noelle and Sadie raised their hands.
All in favor of cautiously letting them in?
Peyton, Lexa, and Gavin raised their hands.
You two hide in the bathroom. Take weapons. If we need help, we'll make a signal.
What's the signal?
We'll subtly exclaim a phrase that will be off-kilter. Something like, well, she's not the sharpest bulb in the crayon box. Do you understand what I did? I took those 3 versions of the same phrase and combined them so that we'll seem intellectually inferior to distract them.
I think you are intellectually inferior. Something else should be the signal.
We'll subtly yell out, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt!
How would it be subtle if we yell it?
We'll yell something less stupid or obvious. Just go!
Sadie and Noelle take baby Jared and hide. Gavin and Peyton are both armed with weapons. Lexa walks over, opens the door to let Meadow and Andre in from the back.
Okay, we let you in. Now both of you, drop your weapons.
We can't do that. How do we know you won't kill us?
If our intention was to kill you, wouldn't we have left you outside to die? Via the zombies?
Peyton inches closer. Meadow points her weapon at her.
Hey, back off.
Meadow and Peyton start dueling with their objects they've crafted out of the miscellaneous items.
Your leader may not want to try that. Meadow is wildly capable in combat.
Tell her to calm down.
Why do you think Peyton is the leader? Do I not possess leaderistic qualities?
Meadow and Peyton knock their weapons from each other's hands, and they begin to fist fight. They seem evenly matched, but not trained in any sense.
This isn't solving anything. Stop! I said stop!
Lexa jumps into the middle. She quickly snags both Meadow and Peyton by the hair, and they both stop their fighting and collapse to their knees at Lexa's mercy.
Are you going to stop?
Mm-hmm.
Did we get that out of our systems? Let's try being civilized. Remember when that was a thing in society? Now, what are your names?
I'm Meadow.
I'm Dr. Andre Nora.
I would say, nice to meet you, but that probably should have been before I yanked on your hair, so we'll skip the niceries. I'm Lexa. This is Gavin and Peyton. We let you in because if the roles were reversed, I would want to be let in too. So, can you do us the favor of filling us in on who you are and what's going on out there?
How do you think it's going? There are zombies killing everyone. What? Have you guys been hauled up in here ever since it started?
The president broadcasted to barricade ourselves in before he was devoured.
You've been locked in a pizza place for 6 months?
Meadow, you should lower your vocal volume so you do not bring your stress levels to the boiling point.
Calm down. We've been running from town to town with probably 12 hours sleep over the last week combined. And you want me not to be upset these people have been playing house, snacking on deep dish while the world is ending. How am I supposed to be calm? The amount of people we've had to watch die.
We've had to deal with our fair share of death, too.
Don't you dare talk to me about death. You guys haven't seen anything.
Zip it, Peyton. I've got this. We're sorry at the stuff you've had to go through, but the broadcast said to wait for the military enforcements. Have you come across anyone?
Have I come across any military? Are you kidding me?
Just cool it!
Lexa does a jabbing punch into Meadow's face. Meadow falls over unconscious.
Whoa!
Perhaps I can be of assistance, since she could not answer your quandaries. We're extremely sleep deprived. There is no military in sight. If we ever did come across a soldier or a police officer, they were imposters attempting to take advantage of others. While this news may appear as if hope is lost, it is not.
Is it just me? Or does Andre talk all sophisticated and off-kilter like Gavin?
Oh God, there's 2 of them.
Hope has not been entirely lost due to my recent scientific breakthrough. According to my studies, I may be on the verge of creating a cure to what is launching the zombie disease. Not only would this heal those who have it, but could work as a vaccine to prevent them from receiving it again or contracting it.
Andre removes a pickle jar from his bag and shows it to the rest of them in the room. The jar is filled with a purple liquid.
You believe you've discovered a way to combat this epidemic? You astonish me, Dr. Nora. Wowie.
Oh, please, address me as Andre. The doctor title can be perceived as too formal.
How do you know what you made even works?
Tests on human subjects have yet to occur because I hypothesize I require some more time and potentially a missing ingredient to help maintain the full effect. Are there additional members of your survival pack?
Jacob Jingle Schmidt John Heimer is not the sharpest bulb in the crayon box.
Sadie and Noelle come out.
My eyes may erupt from a cuteness explosion. Can I hold the baby?
Are you crazy? No!
Oh, well, I suppose it's always been customary.
We just met you. Do you think we are dealing in a world with customs and usuals?
I'll return to our previous discussion before the cute infant appeared. We've met people here and there, but no one possessed any knowledge of safety coordinates. Just running around fleeing about like a gaggle of chickens with their heads cut off.
Did you actually see people running with their heads cut off? I'm documenting all of this zombie activity for a scientific journal.
How can we believe anything you say?
Trusting me may be in your best interest. Did you all know each other before the outbreak? I propose that you loan me the same initial trust as you gave each other.
We've been locked in here for 6 months, while you've only been here for 6 minutes.
Oh no, the little one should have his cough examined. I can provide assistance. Your baby very well could be the future of the human race. I've attempted explaining to Meadow that we should consider mating, but she scoffs at it.
If it were genetically possible, I would mate with you for your babies, Andre. For humankind. Andre, if only you knew how often I've proposed procreation with my survival mates. It seems we concur on that.
It appears we do, Gavin. Your concurring is very much noted and appreciated.
Okay, what the hell is happening right now?
This guy says he may have created a medicine for zombies.
Really? Are you saying you can fix all of this mess?
Let's just all keep our fingers crossed that this chemical even works as a cure because...
Andre drops the pickle jar and the glass shatters.
Retrieve a mop or a vacuum or something.
Lexa runs over with a mop.
Oh my god.
Andre snatches it from her hand and frantically tries to soak up the liquid.
The days of my father referring to my hands featuring butterized fingers have come back to haunt me. We must hurry.
Zombie Log, Day 227. This now marks 3.85 weeks since Meadow and Andre arrived at our back door. Food rations remain relatively on schedule. It was quite convenient that we had the same number of arrivals as we did deaths. Cancelled each other out. Andre is quite possibly an artist of science. One may say, a scient artist. Should I tell him that idea? No, Gavin. That would be silly. He may enjoy you for your intellect. Stick with that.
Andre sits next to Gavin. They seem to be looking at something in a microscope.
With all the carnage you and Meadow witnessed, it's a wonder that you were able to maintain the safety of all this lab equipment you stored in your bag.
Gavin takes out a measuring cup and drips some water into the pot. Andre stirs the liquid with a spoon.
This has been lovely to speak to another intellectual. While I appreciate Meadow for all the zombies she's killed protecting me, I sure have longed for a conversation beyond, where should we go next?
Could not agree further. My method of speech and scientific proposals are often mocked.
There's something I've wanted to discuss with you. You all mentioned keeping an individual by the name of Bobby in the freezer.
It prolonged the zombification for nearly 55 days before he completed his transformation. It certainly was no cure like you're inventing, but it was riveting to discover.
You should ignore any mockery they send your way. That discovery has given me an idea on something to add to my experiments. The fact that frigid temperatures had that lasting effect could prove beneficial for saving others down the line.
Your gratitude is greatly appreciated.
Gavin, may I pose a question of the non-scientific nature towards you?
Yes, you are more than welcome to. I insist you make it a frequent routine.
My mind has been curious over... I've pondered whether you enjoy relations that are not for the purpose of reproduction. Lean toward the homo or hetero nature.
Doctor, are you trying to deduce whether I'm gay or straight?
You do not have to answer if the question poses any sort of discomfort.
I'm Gavin.
Well, I'm aware of your name.
That's my answer. I'm Gavin. I do not care for declaring to be gay or straight or asexual or any terms other humans use for labeling. I am a human, and I enjoy sharing relations with other humans. Gender, anatomy, or preferences do not interest me. All human creatures can be fascinating to me both in a friendly way and in a sexual nature.
That was eloquently said, Gavin. Over the last 3.85 weeks, I have grown a certain fascination with someone in this pizza establishment.
That pleases me to hear, Andre.
It pleases me as well.
The liquid appears to be on fire and smoking. At first, neither of them notice. They inch over closer until... swish!
There was a combustion!
Stand back!
Andre grabs the pan with an oven mitt and pours some of the liquid into another pot. Gavin pulls over a lid and smothers the flame.
Perhaps it was too hot in here.
Perhaps.
I've got a bad feeling about Meadow. Have we all forgotten how she acted the first day she got here? The only thing that got her to stop was when you decked her.
You seem so quick on getting rid of anyone from here, yet you don't want to leave.
They say keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I think that's a bunch of bird caca. I'm not keeping enemies close. I'm not saying she's my enemy, but I'm cautious.
If you're so worried about her being unsafe, why don't we try venturing out there?
Seems like you're itching to go.
I'm not going anywhere without you.
So you're putting this on me?
Some may have been moved by that sentiment, but it angers you?
Don't let my actions dictate your own.
Do you have any idea how backwards you sound right now? You've wanted to be our leader and convince us to stay, literally dictating my actions and how I shouldn't leave.
I'm not making sense because lately not a whole hell of a lot does make sense anymore. Do I want you to stay? Yes. I shouldn't be the only one in your decision.
I want to be with you, and you're the one staying, so where does that leave me?
I'm not forcing you to do anything. Going out there scares me. I'm trapped here, like I have been for years. You should go.
Trying to push me away, or trying to encourage me?
Hopefully, you can put that together for yourself.
I really wonder what would have happened if we went on that date.
What does that matter? What was so significant about that date?
I was going to see if you'd actually want to give us a shot at being together and stop acting like we're just some fling.
We've been in here for 6 months together. We haven't killed each other. I'd say we're doing better than most marriages, wouldn't you say? It's difficult to focus on anything besides our survival.
Living in fear is going to freeze you in stasis. Is that going to accomplish anything?
Lexa pulls Peyton in for a kiss, but Peyton hesitates.
I can't just pretend like everything is normal.
You and I never got to experience a normal for us because we were so consumed with being caught or work itself. That's not our problem anymore.
We need to talk about this another time.
Are you just running away from it?
Could you two continue this in the morning? We all know Jared hasn't been sleeping well, and the last thing we need is for him to... Damn it!
Sorry.
Sit down and shut up. I don't want to hear another word from either of you for the rest of the night.
How mom of you. Oh, the sleep felt too good to be true with the way he's been staying up lately.
Do you think he's hungry? He hasn't been eating as much as Andre thinks he should.
I hope this doesn't hurt you to say, but I can't pretend anymore. I miss Jared.
He certainly was something. It's a shame I only got to know him in his final months.
It made me so happy to see you trying. If we ever find other partners someday, you know that it can't hurt our connection.
You're right. I am worried about baby Jared's cough.
He's asleep, so let's try to keep this conversation as soft as possible. Lexa mentioned she's thinking of leaving. Tell me you see how dangerous that is.
Pizza isn't going to save our lives. Eventually, we need to get out of here. Andre thinks Jared could be really sick.
Don't you think I put that together?
Andre thinks that we need to try to get out of here to gather supplies for some medication. We can't panic because that's just going to make things worse.
Of course I'm going to panic. Why would you even...
I couldn't be responsible for letting someone else die!
Oh, honey, what's going on?
It was my fault. Jared died that day. I wasn't quick enough to act and he got bit because of me. I can't sleep.
You can't blame yourself. It could have been any one of us in your position. Even if it were your fault, blaming yourself isn't going to bring him back.
I lost the man you loved, the father of our child. He should be here instead of me.
Don't say that. I know you're just trying to protect us, but the best way you can do that is stay here and not take us out into the unknown.
I just don't feel safe here.
Will we be safe anywhere, though?
I can't let anything happen to our family.
Thank you for listening to Part 2 of Pizza and Zombies. Tune in again to hear Part 3. This production would not be possible without the generous donors to the Off Center for the Dramatic Arts. Consider donating today at offcentervt.com to keep the arts alive and the zombies at bay.